What kind of boundaries did you need to set?
Man, it was tough. So I was super terrible at it, man. So I could name a ton. So starting off young, one of the boundaries that I should have set with women is never mix money. Keep that separate. Date them, get to know them. If there's ever a point in time where, hey, they're needing money, I honestly at this point don't believe that any man should be giving money to a female without a high commitment, especially in today's society with the process behind a lot of young females. So I didn't set that boundary. This is another boundary that a lot of men can understand. Crazy baby dads. Don't deal with no lady with no crazy baby daddy. For what?
Yeah. That's real.
If that's not resolved, let them have that. Let them keep it. Let them deal with it till they get tired of dealing with it and they separate themselves from all that turmoil.
Men, have you ever felt more like a burden than a king? Like the world needs you for nothing, but blames you for everything?
Welcome to another show of
Men Suffer in Silence.
It's your boy Rich Flagman coming to you, and we got
Lucky let him know.
Roscoe Squeeze Off. All right, so we coming to you again today with another caller. My man John is calling in. Want to thank you and welcome you, John. What's going on,
Welcome,
my brother?
John. Welcome.
Welcome, John. All right, brother. All right. Tell us this morning, my brother, how you suffering in silence, my brother.
Man, I got to keep it 100, man. I think that there's not really any particular way, man. I think as a male, and not to be racial, but a black male, I think the suffering in silence is a plethora of things all throughout life, man. I feel like, and as a man, any man, doesn't matter what race, it's not our job to transfer what we suffer into other people. Society has norms in which you suck it up, buttercup, be a man about it.
Right.
So these are all the things that go into life. So as I kind of venture out and tell you my story, there's a lot of different ways that I suffered. Starting at a young age, I came into going to college, was a mechanical engineer major. And when you grow up and your parents are the first successful people in the family, because, no matter what we say, man, Martin Luther King wasn't that long ago. Medgar Evers wasn't that long ago. Second but equal wasn't that long ago.
Right.
So even though my mother she was a professional, she was a pharmacist. My dad was a pilot, retired from Air Force, and went to go work a job. Still did not have a degree, but he managed to always make ends meet. With that being said, man, you always taught work hard.
Right.
And no matter what we say, man, it's not the American way. So it kind of starts out there. The American way to actually be successful is to actually understand how to make your money work for you.
Right.
So whenever you taught work hard, which a lot of young black kids are, become a building block of society, and that starts the suffering. So going from there, man, take an early promotion, man. You 22 years old, man, I'm promoted. I'm in a white organization, and going up, having a lot of older white males under me is sort of a lot of the turmoil, where you start to realize that you got to be twice as good and work twice as hard to get some places.
Right.
And, it's not an excuse. It's just what it is. So I never took things like that and made an excuse about hey, man, this is not fair. Don't matter. This is what you got to do.
Right.
So with that being said, I also got myself in a situation where I started dating a lady who then later became my wife. She had a kid. So, man, the grind really came on.
Right.
And she had a child with an older guy who was wasn't much of a father to his child. So here you are, you're in college, man, and you're doing the man thing. You with this lady, y'all are moved in together. You playing house. So naturally, if you're gonna play house, you got to play house. You can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So here you are raising a kid that's not yours, and you're in college, man. So it starts out that way, and we kind of get into it, man, with a lot of things that I don't feel like we knew about as young people, and again, young black people. So mental health has not been a thing for black people up until like Kanye West. Kanye West kind of shined the light on it for us.
Right.
So, I'm dealing with a lady who had a child and got a deadbeat father, and I'm dating a girl who's in the midst of depression, which to me, I don't know. Never seen depression before.
Right. Wow. Okay.
Never seen it. I can't even define this, man. So it's like, hey, man, And you see the signs of it. The woman don't want to get out the house. She's trying to take out on a date. She don't really get into it, man. Every time I saw her, I had to go to her house. But nevertheless, we still kicked it. We still spent time together.
Mhm.
But I still didn't know I'm dealing with a lady fighting depression.
Mm. Right.
So just like a lot of things that, women go through,
Mm.
they internalize it, right? And then it becomes a big emotional deal. So this is also a lady that grew up who had male figures in her life that may have molested her.
Mm.
So not only am I getting into things that, like you're fighting depression, but now you have somebody that has trust issues,
Mm.
depression, and a lot of other things that's not seen. So really, if we're going to be honest, we're starting a toxic relationship without even understanding. And some of the things that are not normal that you're dealing with as a man, you're dealing with. Why? Because we suck it up buttercup. So if that kind of makes sense. So you're dealing with things, and I think men are very terrible with setting boundaries until you get older. And you understand that you have to have boundaries because we're so programmed to take on all the problems. Whenever there's a woman, you protect. And, sometimes the very people that you're trying to protect, they're putting themselves in harm's way constantly. And because we don't have boundaries, we're allowing it. And we don't save ourselves.
Quick question,
So,
John. This is Roscoe. What kind of boundaries did you need to set?
Oh, man. So I was super terrible at it, man. So I could name a ton. So starting off young, one of the boundaries that I should have set with women is never mix money.
Mm.
Keep that separate. Date them, get to know them. If there's ever a point in time where, hey, they're needing money, I honestly at this point don't believe that any man should be giving money to a female without a high commitment. Especially in today's society with the process behind a lot of young females. So I didn't set that boundary. This is another boundary that a lot of men can understand. Crazy baby dads. Don't deal with no lady with no crazy baby daddy. For what?
Right.
Yeah.
That's real.
If that's unresolved, let them have that. Don't keep it.
Right.
Let them deal with it till they get tired of dealing with it and they separate themselves from all that turmoil. So those right there, man, was some of the biggest ones. Also, man, we so used to, hey, we're going to carry the load. If you got a female that's not driven, cut it. Don't deal with that either. This is not the 60s. Women have great opportunity these days.
More
And if you got a woman that's not driven, don't deal with it. What we said, I missed that question. What did you say?
No, I said more opportunities. They have more opportunities.
Yeah. So it's like, so whenever you see this, man, I'm not really into, and I feel like I did, and I feel like a lot of men do, that we deal with a lot of broken women, and we think that you can fix it. You can't fix it. Don't even think you can fix it. You're not the exception, man. You are the rule. When I tell you, it is like we got to draw those lines, and then we got to deal with people from healthy spaces. And I feel like when we start doing that, a lot of our struggles as men and in relationships and building families, I feel like it'd be a lot different. I feel like that divorce rate would come down too.
That's real.
But so we deal with that, and then we're now in Broken Home America with my wife at the time. She had a whole family of females, everyone on divorce. And the ones that are married to men that did not father children for them. So good example, her mother had 2 children. She was married now 3 times. None of those 3 dudes did she have children. So what she witnessed was absolutely quit. I'm quit. And that's part of the suffering that I went through, because most of everything that females do is emotionally charged. 100% emotionally charged. And to get a female to understand that it is emotionally charged is like you calling them crazy. So what you're trying to tell me is I don't understand reality. And I'm like, well, what I'm trying to tell you is that you think your emotions are your reality. And at the end of the day, there's a man that's lying dead somewhere because another man thought that he shouldn't live because of an emotion. Emotions lie to us. They deceive us. Emotions are meant to observe, but never really to act on. You make a clear, conscious decision with your mind, not with your emotion. And so that whole theory fueled emotional warfare throughout my relationship and my marriage, which caused the failure. So you starting out, you find somebody at, I want to say it was 20 years old. And, you rock with somebody for 18 years, but through that early stage, college, all kinds of stuff, and, I'm not sure if you gentlemen, any of y'all grew up the same way. A lot of times as a young male in the urban community, we're kind of encouraged for quantity and not quality of women. It's kind of encouraged in our society, along with, and there's a lot of encouragement where people think it is cool to sleep with somebody else's girl. So we got a lot of competition within our communities. We got a lot of stuff that we're doing that hinders us and handicaps us as males as well, that we have to kind of decipher as all BS. So kind of growing up at that young age, I did dirt, she did dirt, we all did dirt. But with everything being emotionally charged, man, here I am, you're talking about 16 years later, still hearing about stuff from 13 years ago. So, that really caused a lot of suffering. I found that women can hold on to a lot of stuff. And, I'm not trying to say that like every woman, but, a lot of women can hold on to a lot of stuff. And I think more importantly than that, is it really that they're holding on to it because it bothers them that bad? Or is this really power? Let me make this man feel bad, because guilt is stronger than anything else. Guilt will have you sitting around way after the fact trying to make something right that you could never make right.
Almost like control. It is a form of control. It's definitely a form of control.
Absolutely. And that's how the manipulation starts. So one of the things that I want to encourage every man to do, that I didn't know to do, is no matter who you dealing with, you always got to do the right thing. It doesn't matter how monstrous somebody can be. You got to do the right thing, because it makes it easier to walk away whenever your boundaries are crossed. You can say, hey, man, you know what? I'm not for this. This is not for me. Versus somebody being like, hey, you know what? I was here when you did this, or you don't remember when you did this. Hey, and they throw all this stuff in your face, and you're just like, man, you know what? How can I be a man that can dish it out, but I can't take it? And that guilt will have you sitting there in a toxic space, not understanding that because you messed up, because you made a mistake, that doesn't give somebody the right to run the same fouls. It's actually counterproductive. It makes no sense. Me as a man, how can I sit here and do something to my, let me rephrase that. How can my wife do something to me or any other person, any of my friends, and it hurt? And then I go back to inflict the same hurt on them and still call them my friend or my wife? That's insane. That makes zero sense. I'm not saying there shouldn't be a conversation. I'm not saying, hey, you can't be upset. I'm not saying that, hey, that person shouldn't have to, put in some work to help mend the relationship. But there should never be a point that you should be willing to inflict the same harm on them because they did it to you. There should never be that point. And so whenever you use that guilt and that manipulation, it is so powerful. It's probably one of the most powerful forms of manipulation I've ever seen. Especially in a sense of your wife. How do you sit here and you have a family and you have a wife and you've done wrong, and you don't sit around as a man to try to right your wrongs? Just the truth is, you can never right it because they're never going to let it go. So this thing is a full circle, man.
Yeah. I know a lot of men that go through that, man. I was talking to a brother the other day that said the same exact thing. He says, man, I made a mistake and slipped up. And, I wound up making a mistake in my marriage. And my wife still reminds me to this day, every single day, every chance she get, about that mistake. He said, and I did that thing about 27 years ago. I said, that's crazy, man. I said, but you know what? They never forget.
Man, it's not even that they don't forget, man. It's power, bro. My wife slipped up and she talked to a friend of mine. And when it started out, she didn't know that he was a friend. We all kind of get busy, man. We got these families and we go at it. And men, we don't necessarily have to talk every day. So at the end of the day, man, you may talk to somebody, you know, once a month, once every couple months, who was a genuine friend, man. Actually, when dude hit hard times, he hit me up to put him in a situation where he could make money. That way he could do his thing. And, you know, so I go through and I find out that, hey, that she's conversing with this guy. And I outed like, hey, man, you really going to shout at my homie like that? Man, let me tell you something. This girl brought up, she brought up whenever we had a time before we were married, we split. And I had another girl that I took interest in. Did not cheat on her. It was nothing like that. Hey, I said, hey, look, gave her the reasons behind it. Look, man, you know what? I stay at work. I stay trying to grind for this family. Every time I take, like, you taking off, you taking trips without me. And then on top of when she would take trips, sometimes I didn't even know what plane she was getting on, what hotel she was staying at. All I know, she could have been there with another man. I have no idea. But I'm at the house paying bills. And then these trips would always happen when an argument would happen, right? Argument would happen. They'd be like, you know what, well, I went ahead and, you know, I put money down to go to Vegas, you know. I didn't think we would be together still. I'm like, nah, we've been running together for how many years? You know, we would still be together. So she takes out on the trip. The money that she spent already putting a deposit down, that's her excuse. For me as a man, the money's the material.
Mm-hmm.
If you made a bad decision, that's expendable. The relationship isn't. So at the point that even I would have put money down, there would have been money lost.
Right.
I still could not have just up and left.
Right.
So, you know, that's the differences, right? This is manipulation we're talking here. So, you know, to this day, even though she's had an affair after that, she's had the time she got caught dealing with one of my friends, and which she did not stop even after I spoke on it. We were in a rough place. It took me getting out of my character to the point that I said, hey, you know what? I'm about to pull up at this guy's house. And you know what, man? We will go at it, man. I'm not going to take that type of disrespect for somebody that I've done so much for.
Mm-hmm.
And that's on both sides. But, you know, you can't run around putting hands on a female. So I pull up to my friend because I expected more from him. And I know that sounds bad. But, you know, I'm not married at the time. And I'm like, I definitely expected more from him. Yeah. So it's like, hey, I called a guy up. And this guy said, oh, man, she just needs a friend. So, you know, first of all, I'm already pissed off. Because I'm like, man, if you're going to be bold enough to take your shots, to be man enough, I'm like, hey, dog, hey, man, this is what I'm doing. Don't hit me with no passive, I'm going to tuck my tail between my legs, stuff like that. Be a man up. So anyways, bro, you're dealing with this, but the point I'm making the whole time that I'm dealing with this, man, the constant excuse of anything that happened in the past is what she used to justify her behavior to talk to a man that she knew that we were cool. And not cool like, hey, I know who he is, to circles like, hey, man, we rode motorcycles together. Hey, man, we worked like 2 or 3 jobs together. Hey, you know, like, we did a lot of stuff together. And not to mention, because he called me, he had a roommate, which I don't know why to the age you would ever have a fucking roommate, but he had a roommate that worked for me at the time that was a mutual friend. So while he's getting at the girl that I deal with,
Right.
he's stopping by my job saying hello to my face. The amount of disrespect,
Violation of bro codes.
that was involved on both sides was insane. And it's like, the one thing I learned, man, when women get to doing dirt, man, they take gloves off and they fight dirty.
All day.
Man, you may cheat. You try not to cheat in the same circles. Man, when my wife had her affair, brother, when I caught it, this woman had the nerve to tell me, you know what, Brian, we can work on our relationship, but I'm not going to stop talking to him because he makes me feel good, and that won't affect you. So you do what you do, and he can do what he does. So this woman wants to play, you know, I feel like I'm on an episode of Flavor Flav. Like, I'm no cuckold. What's going on? I'm not dealing with 2 different dudes and the same girl. And she has the audacity to say, hey, she needs privacy, and moves her shit to the guest bedroom.
Wow.
Wow.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
And I said, hey, man, all right. And, you know, I'm really torn because as a man, I didn't get married to get divorced. And I'm like, hey, bro, like, we got
Say
kids.
that.
We got 3 kids.
Right.
One of them that you had before that's now in college at this day. I'm like, bro, what are we doing? We're failing these kids miserably. And it's like, so I deal with this, you know, I deal with this, man, to say, bro, I don't even know how to fucking deal with it. Who the fuck do you even talk to? At this point, you're so broken.
Right.
At this point, how many guys can you really talk to about this, man? Well, God, we can't talk about this stuff.
Right. Exactly. Right.
And
End up suffering.
you know, I'm coming home every day to a woman that's dealing with another man that still resides in the same house, that wants to sleep in the guest bedroom, who's pretending like she actually cares to bridge the gap. The amount of arguments, the amount of tension. And, you know, I have to come there and I say, hey, bro, you realize this is how people get killed.
Yeah.
Everybody has a breaking point.
Right.
And I'm not saying that, hey, it'll be towards you, but this is how something goes. Either somebody commit suicide or they kill the lover or they kill the outsider. Something happens. And you don't have the common sense to understand that, hey, if you're going to be this disrespectful, then you have to go. Instead, this woman sits in the house and you pay no mortgage. You pay no utilities. You don't pay a car payment. You don't even know what kind of car insurance you got because you don't pay that either.
Wow.
And so you're sitting in this house, soaking it up. So, you know, with me being an angry brother, what do? Can't hit her. I hit a wall, break my hand. Now, what I do for a living is I turn renters for a living. How the fuck can I make money?
Right.
That's done now.
Right.
So now I'm watching the mortgage get behind. Right? And she's still not putting money on it. I say, hey, the mortgage is behind, and I go and I try to talk to her. This girl looks up COVID-19 relief and sends it to me via email saying, hey, won't you try to apply for it? Still won't give up no money. Insane, right?
That's crazy.
So
Stepping
you're
up.
taking on all this stuff. So I told you mom was always successful. So now I'm back down to a very minimal point, man, which, you know, my family, man, everybody may not be always tight, but we always gonna make sure everybody's taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
So I think my mom puts up 2 months of mortgage, say, hey, son, bam. So about the 3rd month, my hands healing. She's like, son, I'll pay the mortgage, but she's got to get the fuck out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now you got even more turmoil between 2 people that weren't necessarily always on the same page because your mother understands that she didn't treat you right.
Right.
You understand that, hey, mom, you don't know the whole story.
Right.
So you're now with that guilt stage. You're like, mom, it's okay. It's cool. Grown man. But now your mom's like, hey, bro, like she sees what she did. Like ultimately, if she would have been true to you and before she had an affair, like you should have went to counseling. You should have did a lot of different things before you started sleeping with another man.
Right.
So your mother sees all of this when you're kind of sort of shooting excuses because you understand maybe some of the hurt that you put on her. So you're still suffering in silence.
Right.
Nobody understands you. Nobody sees you. And you got another person manipulating you for everything that they can get. And using emotional warfare to make it okay.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, you know, coming from there, man, bottom line is, so I'm like, man, I can't kick her out. So I ended up getting a job at a gas station. When it was old school, you remember the Exxon to repair cars?
Right.
And man, and they ripped me off for money so bad. I couldn't see the hours I turned versus the money. I mean, they just give me a check like $500. I'm like, shit. I just put an engine in last week, a transmission, did a clutch. $500. No, this shit it ain't adding up, man. You guys gonna have to show me something. So, you know, eventually you start to draw boundaries. You're like, man, look, I ain't letting nobody get off of me like this, man. I ain't no hoe. So, you know what? I had to get out of there. And I got to a place where I started making 6 figures again. And I made good money.
Mm-hmm.
And I still remember it to this day, brother. We still had accounts that she could see. And could you imagine whenever you're at a point where you've been suffering from this long and then you get a paycheck and you clear like $16,000, $18,000? get a check. And she's like, and I get a text, not, it must be nice. What kind of shit is that? And you are, man, you're kicking me while I'm down still. And now keep in mind, the lady that stays in a separate room, what does she do? Eventually, she moves back to the master bedroom. So now again, how is she there for money? Is she there because, A, she really felt like what she was doing was wrong? Is it a coincidence that all this happened at the same time?
Right.
And it was like, you know, and not to mention I had another job that probably would have paid me more money that I turned down because I didn't feel comfortable because it would leave me out of state. And I had 3 children. One of them was a senior in high school. And, you know, so I'm like, hey, this is kind of the wrong move. But if I would have taken it, I could have probably been making twice the amount of money I was making.
Right.
So turn it down, be a family man, be around. And now you can't even decipher if the people that are around you because they love you and want you.
Right.
Only use you.
Or if they're here for absolutely. And I start to realize that women are catered to so much a lot of times that they don't even perceive some of their actions as actions that will be using people. And, you know, through that, you take on so much damage, my brother.
Mm-hmm.
That I'll tell somebody now, getting out to the dating world, I think I'll pay for another woman's meal. If you care about me that much, you pay for yours, I'll pay for mine.
Wow.
It gets you like that, man. And that's the crazy part about it.
Yeah, people are like, look, but you ask me out. I'm like, are you eating? Are you nourishing your own body? Then, hey, you got your bill. If not, you're not paying.
But I ain't paying for nothing.
You want to eliminate future suffering, not good.
And so now, with that being said, the truth is this. A woman that like you, rock with you, she had to pay for a meal anyway. She's still going. The woman that may be old school and maybe can't get past it, she gone. But that just tells me in my mind, I'm like, hey, you ain't that tough for me. That's cool. So I'm going to bounce on that too.
You
And
know,
then the girl that's really about the free meal, she definitely ain't going, so it's canceled. It eliminates so much stuff from the start.
You know, John, you're absolutely right. Because, you know, when you jump back in the dating field, you know, I hear a couple of my buddies tell me, one of my buddies told me, he said, yeah, man, I just hate when you meet a female and y'all go out on a date, y'all talk on the phone a couple of times, and then right around the 5th day, she tell you about how her phone get ready to get cut off. All that. So you know what I mean? So she telling you, he's like, man, she's telling me, I feel like she's telling me this because she feel like if her phone get cut off, then we can't talk. And then I'm going to just jump in and pay the bill. He's like, nah, man, I just feel like, yo, but when you get your phone back on, holla at me. And I've seen that a lot where a lot of women just come right out and just start asking, can you buy me this? Can you buy me that? My phone get ready to get cut off. I don't know how I'm going to talk to you. My gas and electric is backed up. My car is broke. And it's like, no, wait a minute, hold on. And then they don't realize you're not going to find, more or less, keep a good man like that.
Man, look, man, it's crazy. So I look, bro, and I understand it from a woman's standpoint too. That, hey, men play games, so sometimes women try to get money out of men before the games come, right? That's a my basis thing, man. I'm not okay with it. So, you know, like, I'm not sure if any of you guys are like present on social media, man. So I got a Twitter account. I don't know why. I don't tweet nothing. I just look. And, you know, one of the things that I see, I literally see women putting up cash tags going, who's paying for my lunch today?
Wow.
And I watch men do it. Because men have always tried to buy women.
by any means necessary. Heard that for you.
Yeah. So it's like, hey, it makes it hard for the other ones that, hey, bro, I don't want it. Like, you got all these men, like, think about rap music, man. Dog, you want to talk about, man, I dropped $1 million on a Bugatti. Man, nobody cares. If you want to rap, be like Lil Dicky or something, man. Rap about the money you save. Right? That's all I got to say, man.
Right.
We've got to a point that, hey, the flashy, the this and that, man, it's, how your boy Bean Ranks at the guns and butter. Man, it's crazy. It's crazy to me. So whenever it comes down to it, I absolutely, your phone will get turned off, shorty, I'll send you a letter. Whatever you want.
By Booker Stamps.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I'm not doing it. And it has nothing to do with it. I remember when I told my wife, she got mad. She got a whole nigga. And I'm like, dog, when I found out, it's like, it had been going on for a minute. And I said, yo, bro, you got me paying a phone bill for you to talk to another nigga? I absolutely would not. Her phone bill got cut off twice. And she still was like, bro, you expect me to be able to pick this up? No, nigga, you should expect me to be able to pick that up. You should have known better. You can't have the perks of being with me without me.
That's suffering.
Suffering. And it's like, so my dude was like, you still in the house? And I'm sitting over there like, to this day, my wife resides in the house still because she cannot put together the finances to leave. And she doesn't have a support of a family. So it's like, yo, when you put her out, it's going to be street stop.
So, hey, John, check it out. Hey, man, if you got a little bit of time, brother, we like to do a part 2 of this, man, because I like to dive into the fact that the wife is still at the house and
It's bonkers.
how you definitely you're still suffering from this.
It's bonkers, man. Not only are you suffering from whatever, but I don't care what you say, man. Until you get to a point that you damn near hate somebody, it's hard to set the boundaries when nobody gives you time to heal. So there's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of emotions that still happen there. And there's a lot of suffering, and you trying to be the best man that you can be without you being like, hey, man, I don't give a shit if I see you under a bridge, bro. I'm not throwing no change at your ass. I'm not doing nothing.
Let's leave it right there, John.
Hey, John, yeah, give us a quick moment. Just thank you for turning into men.
Suffer in silence.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're going to come at y'all with a part 2, speaking to my man John here about some of the things that he's going through. This
Very good
look,
point.
my man is hitting all points, man. He's firing on all cylinders. I mean,
You have a right to remain silent because when a man opens his mouth to put sound on his emotions, it's usually perceived as violence. Anything a man says can and will be used against him for future disputes, arguments, humiliation, and manipulation. Put a bat signal in the air and let him know he can't win. You have a right to an attorney, but there's nobody out there willing to defend, willing to lose a case or lose face that will help comprehend the struggles of a man. A man is silent because he's silenced and can afford to be ignored. So he continues to provide for himself when asked, "How you doing, brother?" It's a disguised, "I'm good." You know me. The world calls it toxic masculinity. If everything I say will be held against me on a scroll of social media deficiencies, then I choose to remain quiet or suffer in silence. So in order to keep his status, even though his appreciation is depleting right before his face, but he's a man, born and destined to overcome, so he moves forward at a steady pace. In every decision, in the presence of God, heaven and earth bears record. He's silent because he's listening for the Most High's voice. He's quiet because he doesn't have time to complain. It's a choice. He understands his right to speak, yet he remains suffering silently. How else can he want and leave a legacy of righteousness? How else will his family remember his name?